Let me try and be overly brusque. I apologize for that, but I think that there's a few things that are still missing. One, let me stipulate that Donald Trump and Peter Navarro are idiots when it comes to trade. I agree with what has been said, but I think that misses the point. The way the world economy has proceeded requires some change and does not let China off the hook. There are some significant issues having to do with China, which my colleagues here have let slide a little bit more than I want to. So as one who knows less about China than anybody on the panel, let me therefore throw out some flags. Clay mentioned that I've been working on the way the economy works. If you look at agriculture, if you look at mining, if you look at manufacturing, the important thing that has happened is they have all been disrupted. The services, the technology have taken over. There are more lines of code in a new GM car than there are in the last Boeing jet. Even if we got back to mining coal in the United States, it wouldn't be done by people, it would be done by drones. The employment changes. It is not a terrible thing. If you look at employment in agriculture over the last century and a half, it's gone from those involved from something like 65% in the US were involved in agricultural production to now it's about 5%, probably a little less. We produce far more than we ever did before. Now that said, let me come to China. I think that we have underplayed, John mentioned, but it is important to note, China cheats. Their cybersecurity attacks, both government and individual, are documented, are well known, and are accurate. It is a problem. They're changing somewhat because as Chinese firms get stronger, they have more interest in actually abiding by intellectual property. But nonetheless, there is significant both state and corporate attempts to go after intellectual property, to go after trade secrets, and this should and deserves attention. They are a little bit different from the Koreans because mostly they don't wreck the computer systems when they steal. It's one of the reasons we know the North Koreans are a lot more dangerous in some senses than the Chinese. There's a little bit of understanding that we'll look into their markets, they'll look into ours, but we won't destroy the data when we go in and out. So that's one point. Second point, and John makes, and I agree with him and I disagree with him in terms of the second point he made about requirements that the government sets on would-be investors in China. This is a serious issue for U.S. firms because if you get the right companies, technology, it allows tremendous advantages. If you keep some companies out, it is in effect impacting U.S. ability to compete. An example. As you all know, we do not have, Google is not allowed, except in very limited ways, into China, which means that Uber, which depends on Google Maps, can't operate. You don't have to ban Uber to simply make them uncompetitive in terms of this. There are issues in terms of how you go in and what are the requirements that, legal or not, if you don't solve that second problem of John's, of the institutions, that is an area that there's going to be significant problems in going forward. So that what we need and what we increasingly want to see is not something going after the manufacturer. I don't care about autos or steel. The U.S. economy is doing just fine. U.S. steel companies are not competitive with Mexico or Korea, much less China. That's not where we should be paying attention. What we should be paying attention is to the guts of the service industries, the guts of the high technology industries, and how that affects this. And China has frankly been a lot smarter than the U.S. government under Obama, and even more so now. Remember, Beijing has made in China, its Made in China 2025 plan, which aims to dramatically increase domestically made products in high-tech sectors and with major government investment. The Chinese understand that this is the prize. And as long as the U.S. is fiddling about steel or autos or soybeans, we're missing the point. Thank you.